Welcome to Van Life 365, where we take you along with our travels, or on our travels. Bring you along on our travels. Welcome to Van Life 365, where we bring you along on our travels from no powers to public showers.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Zach.
Let's get into it.
So, we're gonna tell you everything that we really didn't know before going on this journey. We've watched a lot of videos and we researched a lot, so we thought we knew a lot more about this lifestyle before we actually got into it. So, I mean, we're just gonna tell you everything we've learned so far, and I feel like this list is gonna be ever growing, so we'll probably have more videos about like updates on what else we learned and more in detail learning experiences. But here we go, let's start with our list.
First of all, we had no power for the first month that we lived in the RV. And it was like...
Was it a full month? I think it was like...
It was about a month.
It was like 3 weeks, yeah.
And it was getting down to freezing temperatures at night. So we couldn't de-winterize, had no power, had no sink, water, anything.
Yeah.
So we were just like, basically living in a tent.
Yeah, like, a glorified tent.
Camping, yeah. It was nothing fancy for the first month.
And like, the thing is, the power, like, it was our coach battery instead. So... You have two batteries in an RV. You have a front battery for your vehicle part and the coach battery that runs our LED lights that we're using right now. So it's running our LED lights. We have our fan out in our bathroom going. It also runs the water pump. And we didn't know this, but it also runs, there's a little, we have a propane furnace.
Yep.
To heat our RV. And it needs a little spark to start the fire, to start the propane, to have the heat, and if it doesn't have that spark, you can't start it. So, and there's a little fan that blows. So we needed like a small amount of power, like a micro amount of power to get the furnace on, and we never had that.
Yeah.
So it was negative 28, not negative 28, it was 28 sometimes, which is really cold in an RV when you don't have heat. We basically were sleeping outside in 20-degree weather with just a lot of blankets.
Yeah. Because we didn't have power, we also couldn't put out our slide, which is where our bed is behind us. So we had to sleep on the table, little couch thing, every night. Unless we were plugged in. No,
I think, yeah, we were plugged in, we could put out our slide, but also when we started our generator, we could put out our slide. We did put out our slides a couple times when we were plugged in. We did plug in a lot more in the beginning because we had no power. But we definitely learned that power, having these batteries are so important. So important in an RV. And we didn't think it was that important.
No.
Oh yeah, I installed them, which that was scary. That was very scary. Because,
why was it scary?
Okay, so we went to Advanced AutoZone, bought 2 deep cycle batteries, and legally they can only put in 1. They can't do a parallel system for you, which is what we wanted. We wanted 2 deep cycles of a parallel system because it lasts longer. It gives it a longer lifespan before they die. He put one in, and he showed me how to put the other one in. Like, he told me about how to do the parallel system. So we bought the cords, and I was putting them in, and I was using metal pliers.
I was holding the stair open, which is where the batteries are as well. So I was holding it open from above. Yes.
I was using pliers that had rubber handles, but they were metal. So I didn't know that when you're doing the positive, it can arc if you touch other metal, and it's like a big sound, and it's like, you know, electricity. And I was doing that, and it sparked, and Kayla shut my hand in with the batteries. A metal, like, pliers, just freaking everything. So that was scary. We learned how to do that without dying, which I'm super happy about.
And I did it twice.
Yeah, it wasn't one time.
No.
So we learned a lot about our battery system in the beginning. After we did that, we found out that there's a lot of stuff you need for RVs. We didn't have a hose. We didn't have a filter. We didn't have a pressure gauge, like you put on the end of your water hose, because if the pressure is too much coming into your RV and your city connection, it can cause damage. So we didn't have any of that.
We didn't have blocks.
We didn't have blocks. We still don't have stuff because it's expensive. Like, there's some stuff we have not bought, but there's ways around it. So we had to buy all that stuff, and it was a learning experience. We bought a lot of stuff. And then going into that, the reason we needed those parts is because we wanted to de-winterize our RV.
Yes, because it was finally above freezing temperatures. So we had to buy a whole bunch of stuff. The hose, the filter, bleach, a little...
measuring cup.
Yep. We had to drain the antifreeze out of the sinks and the shower and everything.
Out of all the tubes, all the plumbing.
Yeah.
There's antifreeze in them so they don't, freeze and break. So we had to drain all that out of the system, which means you have to fill it all up with bleach. You put, well, not all bleach. It's like 2 cups of bleach we put in.
You put some bleach in
a water bleach solution.
Yeah.
And you have to basically get all the antifreeze out, and you fill all your lines. So you do your sink, your bathroom sink, you do the hot, cold water and all those, you do the shower, you do the hot and cold in shower, you do your bathroom, like your toilet, you do any outdoor connections you have. We have an exterior shower, so we had to do that.
Yep.
And you let it sit. Once the antifreeze is out, you let the bleach solution sit in the pipes to like sanitize.
Yeah.
And you let that sit for 8 hours?
I think it was like 6.
It was 6 to 8. We did around 6. But then what we did is we drained it, filled it up with water, not the bleach solution, and then rinsed all of our lines and the big tank, and we did that twice.
Yeah, a lot of water has to be used for this process.
Yeah.
But luckily we were connected to a hose,
Yes.
so...
We did it all in a day. It was a huge learning experience. We had a lot of crap to do. Yeah, I think it was really cool for us to learn that though, because we probably would have paid someone $100 or $200 at a shop to do that.
Yeah.
When the materials from now on, with the materials we bought, if we had all the stuff for the RV already, you only have to buy bleach, and you have to have a water connection, and you're good.
Yeah.
So maybe it was $10 we spent on bleach. Yeah, and we still have a whole bottle left. So if we don't use bleach often either.
No.
But
for nothing.
Yeah, so we probably are set for bleach for a while.
Yeah.
Unless it freezes. I don't know if it freezes.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll find out. Super good to learn. You save a lot of money if you do winterize your own rig.
So recently we were on a trip to Florida, which is where we are now. And our taillight went out. I think it happened in Florida.
So this is what happened. It wasn't working. Someone told us on our way to Florida. It wasn't working. Then I tested it when we were at the gas station. It was working. And then when we got here, we were on a highway and we were trying to merge and no one was letting me in. So we found out the blinker wasn't working. They didn't see I wanted to merge. So
both taillights got taken apart so that we could take one light and put it in the other so that we at least had 2 working like brake lights. And then we went to AutoZone, I think, some auto repair shop. We got another bulb.
We put them in and it worked. And we fixed it all for $15.
$8?
I think it was 15, but I bought 2 packs of the bulbs in case they go out again. We still have 2 extra bulbs.
But yeah, that ended up being the easiest fix that we've had.
Yes. This was crazy. We have this Yeti we use for our fridge in the beginning.
It's a Yeti 110, which is huge.
Yeah, it's massive. It's like 5 feet long. And we had it because we didn't want to use our fridge. Because our fridge is propane, and we thought that was going to be expensive.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that probably uses the least amount of propane in this whole vehicle. Like, our heater used a ton. Our stove used a lot. And we just didn't use our fridge for some reason. So about a month and a half in, we decided, let's turn it on and see if it works.
And it does.
And we're using
it. So we had our Yeti stored in our outdoor thing. So anytime we had to cook, we went out and got all our stuff, brought it in, cooked, and brought it all back out. And it was very annoying.
Especially when it was cold.
Yeah, but now we have an actual fridge. And when it was raining, it sucked.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
But now we have an actual fridge, and it works. We have a freezer, and it works.
It's nice.
We don't have to constantly go buy ice to fill our cooler. But then we got to a harvest hose, and we parked, and it stopped working for some reason. Like, we couldn't figure out why it was broken.
We were plugged into electricity. So I thought it was electrical. Like, I thought the electric part of the cooling part of the freezer or fridge wasn't working.
And also, every time that we feel like something's going right, something goes wrong, like right after. So this is just another instance
Yep.
where we're like,
We finally got
what
a fridge
happened?
going.
We were parked trying to figure out why it wasn't working. We had it on different settings, like up to the coldest, which usually froze the things that was in our fridge before
Yeah.
if we put it up that high, and everything was just melting. So Zach did a ton of research and figured out that if you're unlevel, your fridge can stop cooling. So we leveled ourselves and it magically worked.
Yep. There's definitely a lot of stuff you learn doing this lifestyle. You learn something every day. Let's just say that. Especially with one of our most recent occurrences. And our most expensive.
Do you want to talk about that now?
We can talk about that.
Okay. So our generator stopped working out of nowhere. Like
Yep.
we used it like a day or two before and it was perfect. And then we tried turning it on because it's hot in Florida, so we wanted our AC. We go to turn it on, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't even like try to start. Like
Well, no, it rolled over once, so it did. So it sounded like it was going on. It rolled over once, so like, doom, you know, like,
yeah, just once though, and
Yeah.
then it didn't do anything.
And
the
then it
rest of
went-
the time.
it just sounded like electricity.
Yeah.
That's all it sounded like. So it rolled over, then electricity.
So Zach took it upon himself to go explore.
Research.
Okay. Go research the generator and took it apart, and then he just what?
It wasn't only that. The first day, this is a 3-day occurrence in Florida, and the max was like 90 degrees when we didn't have it. Freaking hot, so we had to turn on our AC, our car part.
Yeah, our cabin one.
Yeah, and turn the AC on for the cats so they wouldn't die, or we wouldn't die. But I looked it up, and there's a lot about generators that can go wrong, and apparently, like, these generators on RVs are super expensive.
Yeah.
They're like $3,000 to $4,000 if you want a brand new one, and it's crazy. So I was looking it up, and I found some like troubleshooting stuff you could do, and it was like, check your air filter, check your oil, like if you have oil stuff. I checked all that. I literally took apart the RV, like I figured out mechanically. I checked the air filter, brand new. It basically looks out of the box. I checked the oil, perfect. It didn't look too, it wasn't too dark, and it was full. So I was confused at that point, and then I noticed like this. There's a little like ribbon that was on the bottom, and it looked burnt. And I'm like, maybe it's that. I don't think it's that important. Because it just looked like, it looks like fabric.
Yeah.
So I looked by that, and I found out there's a way to make the generator spit out an error code. So I figured that out, and it was spitting out 32, which basically was just talking about RPMs, like the generator's not spinning fast enough to get started. So that was day one. And we kind of went to sleep with our windows open.
And then the next day, he called a mechanic, and we ended up driving to this guy's house so he could take a look at the generator and tell us what's wrong with it. So he tells us the ground ribbon is broken and that we need a new one. So we paid him his money, and then we went and Zach bought some tools and some supplies to try to take this all apart by himself. He bought the ground ribbon.
Yep.
Got stuck on one part.
Yeah.
Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, of course. So I took it apart. The first guy, the mechanic, showed me like everything, what to do, like what every part was, how to take it apart, how to put it back together, stuff like that. What I needed to take apart for this to work. And the bolts were literally so rusted. They were like bound to this generator. So one of them I got off. There was two really rusted areas. One of them I got off. It was difficult. It took me probably 30 to 40 minutes to get this bolt off.
It took forever.
Yeah. And then the other bolt we bought a crescent wrench. And those things are super good, tell you what. Because I got right on that thing, I started twisting it, I felt it turning. So I turned a little bit more, and the freaking head of the bolt popped off. So then I had to look up how to grind a bolt out or extract a bolt, and I was grinding it and like drilling into it, and then I was trying to use the extraction bit.
Yep.
Did not work. So we ended up taking it to our second mechanic about 100 miles away from the first one because we were continuing our trip. We don't stop.
Yeah.
This guy was amazing. He was so helpful. I had all the parts ready. I had everything taken apart except this one bolt. And basically we found a new place to ground it because it was a ground, and if you don't know anything about batteries, if you have the positive connected but not the ground, you don't have a circuit.
Yeah.
You don't have a circuit, so nothing will happen. So that was happening, and he found a new ground and did it all together and started right up. So
now we have AC,
yeah,
which is wonderful.
it was very expensive to fix.
It was insanely expensive.
It wasn't insanely.
And we had to get our oil changed this month. So the repairs, it's a high
Yeah.
cost this month.
The generator overall probably cost us $300 to fix,
Yeah.
which isn't horrible.
But it was not expected.
Yes, it was not expected, but at the same time, it's a lot cheaper than replacing this whole generator. And even dropping it. So I'm super happy that what we did worked,
Yeah.
because if it's shot, if this ever gets shot, the generator, we're gonna have problems, and it's gonna be expensive to fix. So I'm glad it was just a simple ground wire and it wasn't anything big. So I'm super grateful that it wasn't something that was inside the engine part of it,
Yeah.
because I could not imagine.
Also, during the time that our generator wouldn't work, we were plugged in at a girl's house, thank goodness,
Oh, yeah.
because it was hot. But our AC started smelling when we turned it on. And it
Rotten
smelled-
eggs.
Yeah, it smelled really bad. And Zach did a bunch more research.
I want to say something. I did a lot of research, like you said. Apparently, there's a lot of smells your RV can put out. A lot of smells. And some of them are, you should take seriously. Some of them are, there's certain gases leaking into your
Cabin.
cabin that you should, open the windows, get out of. But rotten eggs was, overcharged batteries. But our batteries weren't smelling. It only smelled when you turn our AC on. And our batteries charging system's working correctly. Thank God for that. But it said, something could have crawled in your AC and died.
And when we had our AC on, it spits out water.
Yeah.
Because that's what ACs do. And it was dripping on the front of our RV on the ground. And a bunch of lizards, since we're in Florida, were coming up and drinking all the water. So we're like, did a lizard get stuck in our AC? And
Yeah.
we're just smelling a dead lizard.
A dead carcass.
Yeah. So we're like, we'll worry about it tomorrow. 'Cause it was evening.
We need to get the generator fixed first.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. And it was a rough week because it was just a mess.
Last 4 days have been crazy.
Yeah. So we're like, we'll worry about it tomorrow. And then we didn't. We didn't remember it.
We drove.
Yeah. So we took a long drive. And then we turned it on when we had our generator working. And it stopped smelling. Out of nowhere. We're like, did the lizard fly out?
Yeah. I still found out how to actually clean the RV. Or the AC.
AC.
So when we get the correct solution to clean it, I will go up there and manually clean it, and I will record it and put it on our Instagram. So stay on that. But we haven't figured out everything about it yet.
No.
But yeah. All right. So that's part 1
Yes.
of things we've learned. We are going to be putting out a second part because there's a lot. We're probably only halfway done our list.
Yeah.
So just be ready for part 2.
Yeah, come back for part 2. Remember to rate the pod, give us 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, leave a like, and comment what you want us to talk about next time. And click all our links in the description to find all our socials.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
Peace.